Hi, welcome back to the studio. Just another quick video for you on some strategic ways of thinking about holes at Woking, especially the difficult ones. I've positioned us here on the 8th tee. I'm actually on the yellow tee, which is what most of you will play often. I guess this video is probably geared more to those who struggle with holes, the longer holes like the 8th here, and just having a think about the way we play it may reduce your scores in the long run. So for a lot of people, this hole uphill at 400 and odd yards, 410 I think, is off the yellows, is too long. You're not going to make it there in 2 every time. But that doesn't stop most of you trying, and that can get us into lots of bother. So let me try and play it for you how somebody who drives the ball round about 190 yards, 180 yards, something like that, should play the hole. So here I am on the tee, and you can see with the aim line on the screen there, I've aimed towards the centre of the fairway, and I'm probably, if I'm only hitting the ball that far, most golfers hit the ball left to right. So I'll do the same thing and just try and hit the ball at distances that you're familiar with. And so we're going to hit a ball that's about 190 yards and has got a little bit of a slice on it. Let's see how we go off the tee. So the carry is the first thing to think about. It's only about 50 odd yards, but it's enough to make us worry a little bit. So the sensible thing is to aim at the shortest carry, which is towards the bridge, which is what I'm doing, and just hope that we get over it, and then we'll deal with the problems from there. So let's have a little go. Okay, so I've hit a decent shot, fairly heavy slice on it. It's landed at about 180, okay? So it's run out a little bit further than that, at 207 yards. Now what that's left me is 198 yards, you can see on the screen there, uphill another 5 yards or 14 feet. So that's going to be playing round over 200 yards now. And most people at this point would just be wanting to get as far up the hole as possible. But cleverly the designers here have originally put bunkers right in our way. And rather than take the risk of me taking those bunkers on and hoping for a decent bounce or to avoid them, I'm going to play this slightly differently and say to myself, right, what's my favourite of my short shots that I can hit? So let's say I hit a wedge round about 85 yards, something like that. Okay, that's what I want to leave myself in. So now I've got 198 yards and I want to leave round about 85-ish. So I need to hit the ball round about 115, 120 probably with the uphill. Okay, so now I've taken all the bunkers out of play. The fairway remains quite wide, and I've got a club that I'm really happier hitting than a rescue or a fairway wood off the ground. I'm now hitting a club which goes 120 yards all in. Now that might be a 7-iron, it might be a 6-iron, it might even be still a small rescue. But I'm going to hit a club, well, I'm going to hit my 6-iron. Here we go. But I'm now going to play it, as you can see, straight down the middle here, take all the bunkers out of play and just hit 115 yards worth of 6-iron. Okay, I've got much more control over that. I've come up sensibly short of the bunkers. I couldn't possibly have taken a club that cannot get in the bunkers. That was very stress-free experience. And now I've got 77 yards, uphill 3. So I've left bang on 80 yards up the hill, which was quite close to my thinking originally. And now I can play a club which I'm happy to hit that distance. Again, it might be your wedge, it might be your 9-iron, it might be a gap wedge. Well, it doesn't really matter what it is. It's just the fact that we've thought the hole through, and hopefully now we're in a position where the worst score we can take is maybe a 5 if you 3-putt a 6, but you've ruled out any number bigger than that, and I guarantee we've all had bigger numbers than that on this hole. So now the pin is back middle. It's 77 yards, playing 80 because of the uphill. So I don't want to be long because I don't want a downhill putt. So I'm going to come up, hopefully I'm going to be sensible here and play this just under 80 yards and see if we can just put it on the middle of the green somewhere. Okay, a little bit pulley, but it's short of the hole and I've hit it. Yeah, not a great shot to be honest, but it didn't matter really because the strategy was that I had allowed for non-perfect shots, but hopefully still without affecting my score. Now, luckily with the software we've got in here as well, you can either have putting on or off. Just grab my putter, and this software is really good for learning the greens have been mapped meticulously perfectly. So this is exactly the borrows that you'd have, and you can practice these on the course. So I'm now left of the pin, and I'm short of the pin, if you can imagine that, on the 8th. It tells me here with the blue line on here, I've got an uphill putt. It's 23-foot putt I've left myself. It's 7 inches uphill, and the borrow I need to, that's what if I hit the ball straight at the hole, that's where it's going to end up. It's going to end up about 1.5 foot on the right hand side of the hole. So I can take account of that when I line up the putt in here and aim left by about 1.5 foot over here and hit it uphill 23 feet, allowing for the uphill a little bit further, and let's see how we go. Okay, so a little bit firm, so it didn't take all the borrow. I've set the gimmies to 6 foot, so I don't have to do the tap-ins, and I've scored a solid bogey 5 on that hole, which for most people who hit the ball about 190 yards, 180 yards off the tee, that's as good as we're going to do unless we hole a putt, because the strategy that we've taken has meant that we've ruled out putting it up the face of a bunker and taking a big number. So again, good example of what this software can offer us in terms of practice. Please come and use it. We can set you up on any hole or series of holes. You can even just single out playing your hardest holes one after each other, time and time again if you like, so you can begin to practice and get a bit of confidence. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be back to do a bit more on different holes around Woking and the sim to show you what it's all about.